the memo. Derrick Rose can go upstairs.
Podcast. This is episode 83. We also are coming at you live on Twitch. Want to say hello to all the folks on Twitch. Hello. Stacey's here. Timmy Whispers is here.
Hey-ho.
Our excellent production crew. They got things rolling here, and we're going to crown an NBA champion either on Thursday night. We're taping this on, we're live on Twitch, but we're also going to have it on YouTube.
On Twitch.
And your favorite podcast carriers later tonight. So, Stacey could be a new NBA champion. You think Golden State gets it done on Thursday?
No.
No.
I don't. And the only reason why I say that is because Boston has proven, Mark, that they always bounce back after a loss. They're going to be at home. It's going to be tough for Golden State to finish. But they have the mindset of a champion. Golden State has the mentality they can go in there and finish. And they're going to have to play lights out because Boston's going to come out and do everything they can. Listen, Boston should have been up 3-1. You know, this really should probably be a 3-2 series going back, you know, finishing here in Boston right now. They blew that game when it was 2-2. And the thing that's plagued them this whole series, Mark, is the turnovers. They turn the ball over, and quick shots have killed them. When they execute and they take care of the basketball and the assists are up, they're tough to beat. But when they turn that ball over, man, it's lights out. They're in trouble.
Yeah, the stat that they had, if they have over 16 turnovers, they're like 1-7 or something like that. So they've got to take care of the ball, especially at home. And Jason Tatum is shooting around 30% on twos. So he's got to get going because he was first-team All-NBA this year. He's the guy that's really got to carry that offense.
Both him and Jaylen Brown have to play at a high level, and then you got to get that third option. It could be Marcus Smart. It could be Al Horford. Williams is going to give you defense and shot blocking. Grant Williams is going to give you – he hasn't played well in the last 2 or 3 games. That's really hurt. Derek White hasn't played well. Their role players haven't stepped up and picked up the pace for it a little bit. That's been a big reason why they struggled. I believe there's so much pressure on Jason Tatum to carry this team to the finals because he was, all NBA. He had a great playoff series against Miami and Brooklyn, so people expect him to do the same thing. The problem is that, he has to be a playmaker. He's settling a little bit too much for jump shots and not attacking the basket with his athletic ability. And then on the other end, Andrew Wiggins has played. I mean, might be an opportunity to win the MVP Finals.
He's a hell of a defender, too, doing a nice job.
Oh, man. I mean, all the people who slept on Andrew Wiggins is looking back now going, wow, this is we got to, eat some crow. Because
his odds went from 200-1 to 4-1 on MVP.
For MVP?
Really?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. That was breaking news from Whispers, ladies and gentlemen.
I keep up on that stuff.
He keeps up on the betting. Guy, he loses a lot of horse races, but he likes to give people odds.
I won a bet earlier, though, today.
Which one did you win?
You throwing that garbage
Oh,
away?
man, get out of here with that. Okay, well, listen, America.
Mark, are you a witness?
America. Me and Tim always had these little side bets that we bet. I had a little trash. I was eating at Quiznos for lunch, and I had a little trash, and I was shooting with my left hand. I told, I'm about 30 feet away from the bucket. And I bet Tim that I could make it $5, okay? So the bet was $5, I make it. Well, as I shoot the trash to go in, Tim deflected it and put his hand out there and hit the paper to make me miss the shot. Now he's expecting $5. So I hit the old, remember the old Popeye show, America? Wimpy, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah.
That's what I told Tim, but he's not getting anything. He's getting absolutely nothing.
Wow, the
It
deflection.
sounds like an episode of Seinfeld, back and to the left. The old spinning episode.
See how he throws the left hand in there when he's a lefty?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think America knew that.
I was using my left hand, which I am left-handed.
Okay, Whispers, enough from you.
Hey, we appreciate everybody that's watching on the live Twitch feed. We've got a hi from Poland already, and the UK says they're well represented, so we thank you for joining part. If you got some questions, send them along the way, and we will try to read a few of them as we go along, because I know a lot of people are curious about what the Bulls are going to do in the upcoming draft, which is 1 week from today. And we're going to have a special live Twitch show, Stacey, coming up next Thursday. The draft starts right about 6:30 Central Time. We're going to be here live throughout the first round. We'll take you through all the picks, what we consider good picks, bad picks, what might be coming up, and whether AK makes a big move. A lot of rumors that potentially the Bulls could be looking to deal that number 18 pick for maybe some guy who can help right away, because the Bulls aren't messing around. They got 2 more years of DeMar DeRozan under contract, and they want to make sure they have put the best team possible on the court.
Well, I mean, there's rumors that Zach LaVine is going to re-sign with the Bulls, so that's great news for. I mean, until he signs, we still have to wait, but it looks like he's going to re-sign with the Bulls, which now they'll get their core group back intact. You still got Vooch here. You hear rumors about the Bulls moving him, and I don't see that happening. I know he's under contract for another season. I think you're going to get a great Vooch this year because he's under contract, and this might be the last time he gets a big deal. So I think that's important. You got Patrick Williams is out in L.A., as we're going to be talking to him about what his summer's been like. So the core group is what's so important for the Bulls to get to that next level past the first round, and they're going to have that group intact.
Whispers, you see this on the Twitch chat. One guy named JV Just Five says Timmy Whispers for Defensive Player of the Year with that deflection.
That's true. But they don't know that deflection was actually a farting sound.
Oh my!
We've been using that for years. Just as the guy's about to shoot.
Stacey's got the bullshit button. Yeah.
Yep.
America.
Oh, hit it. Oh boy.
This is what we have to deal with right now. We don't. What is that red button that they have?
Even when I win bets, I pay.
Yeah.
The easy button?
The easy button. We don't have the easy button. We got the bullshit button, okay? So when Timmy Whisper says something that's bullshit, I'm going to hit it about 3 times. So you might hear the man say 3 different things, America.
Yeah, Stacey was talking about that article that came out a couple of days ago on Bleacher Report. Jake Fisher, I believe, was the reporter. He had a number of different things in there. One, he said that talk around the league is that most likely Zach LaVine will be committing to more time with the Bulls, a long-term max extension. He also mentioned the fact that the Bulls could explore the trade market for Nikola Vucevic, which is no surprise. Vooch is going to be an expiring contract. And Stacey, in a rarity, his salary number actually goes down for the upcoming season. So if they wanted to make a move with him, I'm sure there'd be a lot of teams that could be interested. And the Rudy Gobert stuff isn't going away, but from what I've been hearing, Utah's asking so much for Gobert, plus the huge contract. I think it's going to take it out of the realm of even possibility.
Well, I mean, listen, the Bulls are right there. They're a couple of pieces away. If they maneuver themselves, and like I said, you got to trust, AK and Mark Eversley, JJ Polk, the front office for the Bulls. They know what they're doing. So the rumors are the 18th pick and Kobe White and trying to move that pick and trying to get somebody. I can see that happening. Kobe White, I'm telling you right now, I'm a Kobe White fan, and I know you have to, in order to get something, Mark, you got to give up something. The Bulls have made it clear that Patrick Williams is in their long-term plans. He was their first draft pick, so I don't really see them, moving him unless it's something that's going to knock their socks off, and you have to do it. Kobe wasn't their pick. And Kobe got value. I mean, he's a shooter. You need scores. He can shoot threes. He can play point. He can play 2. He can come off your bench and be your 6th man. So he has value out there. And so they're looking at all options. They may not even trade him. You don't know how serious they are about moving him in the 18th pick. That's just a lot of people talking. You don't know that. But if they are looking at that direction, that means that they're serious about making his team better.
And the wheeling and dealing has already started. The Dallas Mavericks, who made it to the Western Conference Finals this year, made a trade. They traded 4 bench players and a future number 1 pick to pick up Christian Wood from the Houston Rockets. Wood is a guy that averaged 15 and 10, and I think in that Dallas system, he could be their starting center.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. The Dallas Mavericks, America, this is what they did. They ran into the bank. America. This is a stick up. We want Christian Wood, and we're going to give you Boban. We're going to give you Trey Burke, and we're going to give you the equipment manager for Christian Wood. Yeah. They absolutely robbed Houston. Houston, if they really wanted to move from Christian Wood, they could have gotten so much more for that kid. That kid is a very good player. He's a double-double guy. He's a rim diver, finishes at the rim. It's only going to make Dallas. You just gave Dallas an opportunity to be a top 3 team in the West now. You pair him up with the big kid, the other kid that's a jumping kid athlete. They got 2 bigs now that are interchangeable that can actually get out there and guard the pick
Dwight
and
Powell,
rolls.
you talking about?
Dwight Powell. 2 athletic bigs that can get out there and switch, guard smaller players, defend the 3-point line. Why? Houston? Why?
So
Why
many
would you
of
do
these
that?
general managers in rebuild mode, all they look at is cap space and draft picks, and they get so fixated. Sam Presti made another trade where he picked up another first-round draft pick, for taking on the contract of JaMychal Green. And it's like, how many draft picks can you use?
Well, and the draft is so uncertain. For every draft, you may get 5, 6 players in that draft, and a lot of them might be drafted later. You know, you're getting all these picks. It's great to have. Picks mean a lot more than what they did, say, 5-6 years ago. People are trying to stockpile. Oklahoma City's a small market team. They're never going to be able to pay the big money. You know, they had Durant. They had to let him go because they couldn't pay him. They had James Harden, couldn't pay him. Westbrook was making too much money. Had to get rid of him. Serge Ibaka. Look at all the talent that they had to give up. You know, those were homegrown talent, drafted players by Sam Presti, and he had to give them all up. So they need draft picks. They need to develop guys. And so when they get these draft picks, their whole purpose is to develop these guys and then be able to move from them and be able to get something back in return. But it seems like they just keep trading, develop the draft pick, and then trade it for another draft pick.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
So where are you going with this?
Keep bringing in younger players. It never seems to work that way. You know, a lot of rising and falling based on team workouts and physicals and different things. And we're hearing some guys are rising in the draft, some guys are falling. One guy that seems to be falling a little bit is this Tyree Eason from LSU. He was originally projected back into the lottery. Now I'm hearing he could be available at 18. Here's a guy that's like 6'8", 6'9". His wingspan is over 7 feet. He could fit in really nicely on the Bulls' front line if he's available there.
Well, I think he's going to be available. You know, again, we talked about this, Mark. Guys are going to be, that were expected to be lottery picks are going to drop. It's just the way it is. Maybe they have a bad workout. Maybe somebody puts something out there about the kid that makes people scared to take him. Maybe it's attitude, you know, talking to their college coaches or people that are affiliated with them. You know, they find out the kid has a bad attitude. There's so many different things and so many different variables that can make a kid fall. But if you're a team that's in that 15 to the end of the first round, that's what you want to hear, because you're going to get a kid that was projected as a lottery pick at 15, 16, 17, 18. That is a high value pick. That is this high risk, low reward type of, well, I'm going to take it back. Low risk, high reward when you get a player like that, you know, that late in the draft. So you got to take the best player available. And if they do that and that kid turns out to be a stud or a good two-way player or a good rotational player, that team picked up a stud.
Now, when you came out of Oklahoma, you knew that you were going to be one of the top picks in the draft. I don't know if you traveled to a bunch of teams. You got any favorite story of the whole process leading up to the draft?
Oh, America, I can write a book. Okay, so I went to Indiana. And I didn't work out, because when you're a lottery pick, you don't work out. Yeah. So I went to Indiana, and they gave me like the Wonderlic test. Like they gave me this test. I'm sitting there like, why are we doing this? You know, are we going to do any basketball drills or whatever? And they wanted to test your IQ, you know, and it was like, you know, it's like crazy questions, you know, like, you know, what's the difference between red and blue? You know, okay, you know, yeah, how do you answer that? You know, two different colors, you know. But it was crazy. My time in Chicago, I came here. I liked it because, you know, I got a chance to come to Chicago. I wanted to come play for DePaul. If you've been following the stories, America, if you're new, I got recruited by DePaul and was really close to coming to play for the Blue Demons. And something happened that changed my mind. And so I ended up going to the University of Oklahoma. But I ended up in Chicago anyway. And so when I came here for the pre-draft workout, you know, the Bulls wanted me to work out. I didn't really, my agent told me, which was David Falk, says, don't work out. You know, we don't want you to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. The Bulls kind of coaxed me into it. The late, great Johnny Bach kind of coaxed me into it and says, you know, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Oklahoma. He said, are you born and raised in Oklahoma? I go, yeah, I was born and raised in Oklahoma. And he said, there's only two things come out of Oklahoma. and it was
Which one are you?
It was the old officer and gentleman line. And if you've seen that movie, you know what it is. And he asked me, which one are you? And he said, if you're not going to work out, then I already know which one you are. So it kind of challenged me. So I said, okay, all right, Ben Franklin. Because he looked like Ben Franklin. I said, I'm gonna work out. So I work out for him. I'm doing all this court work, running, jumping, you know. So they said, okay, you know, we're gonna amp it up a little bit. You're not gonna get hurt. And Doug Collins was the coach. So Doug Collins was that coach. So he said, we're gonna amp it up a little bit. We're gonna put a little resistance on. I'm like, all right, cool. So as long as you don't hurt me, we're good. No one's gonna hurt you. Just give you a little resistance. So they bring in this guy. This is when we used to practice at the health club, the multiplex over in Deerfield. So that's when it was a health club, so anybody could be in there or whatever. So I see this gangly guy with, like, you know, salt and gray hair, you know, just look disheveled, you know, and
maybe a little high.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big dude, you know, broad shoulders. And, watching the Bulls games because, Harvey Grant, the twin of Horace Grant, we used to watch the Bulls on WGN all the time. Yeah. So I had a little insight of the Bulls being a teammate of Harvey. So I assumed it was Dave Corzine because he looked just like Dave Corzine. So he comes in, he's all, he's just coming in. And I'm like, they bringing Dave Corzine in? Like, this is not really good for me because, I'm battling this guy for his job, and he's going to work out against me.
You don't want to get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt, So I said, forget it. Let's go. So I go in there and I'm posted up, and he's kind of physical. He's banging me, hit me in the back, and just really, really being physical. So I turned around. I said, hey, Dave, man, Dave Corzine, chill, bro. Chill. It's not that serious. Like, you're not even supposed to be hitting me. Shut up and play. And he called me the P word. Yeah. In America, you know what that means. And you don't call a guy that, okay? So I'm like, I looked at him. I'm like, you just called me that? Like, okay, dude, right? All
Corzine.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, okay, Corzine. So we get to doing it. I'm posting up. I go to make a spin move. I go up to take the shot, and he hard fouls me and kind of slams me to the ground. And I got up, and I said, man, what are you doing? Like, you're not supposed to do that. Shut up and play. The P word again. So, okay, I said, okay, Dave Corzine, I got something for you. Okay, you want to play like this? So my mindset now is I got to show these coaches that I'm not soft, because I'm not. Because, I'll throw hands with you in a minute. So, but I said, I don't want to do anything crazy because if I get drafted here, if I fall in the draft, they got to draft me, and I don't want them to think I have a bad attitude. But I couldn't let this dude do that and get away with it. So, Dave Corzine. So I'm posting up again. They said, so Doug's laughing. And I don't know why everybody's laughing at this point. So they're all laughing. I said, hey, all right, I got something for Dave Corzine. So they throw me the ball. He said, do the same move. So, all right, cool. So he throws the ball in. I crab dribble to the middle and quick spin baseline. And as I went baseline, I elbowed who I thought was Dave Corzine in the face. Pow! And he's like, oh! And then I dunked the ball. Boom! And then when I dunked the ball, I took my legs and wrapped around his waist, and I just was like twisting him. And then I slung him out of bounds. And then I said, you play. And I gave him the P word. Boom, I threw the ball. And he was like, he immediately charged at me. And it was so slow. Like, he was so slow. Like, I said, I'm finna kill this dude. Like, he's like, oh! And as I get ready to give him a two-piece with no biscuit and soda, Eric Helen, the strength coach, who was 25 at the time, comes flying out of nowhere and grabs me and pins me up against the wall. No, don't do that. So Jerry's like, Riley, what are you doing? You can't do that. And he's all upset. The coaches are laughing. Doug was like slapping his hand, like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So they said, Stacey, go take a shower. So I'm going to the shower. Eric Helen's walking me to the locker room. He goes, hey, man. He goes, boy, you're feisty. You got a temper. We need guys like you here for the Pistons. And I'm like, man, look, listen, they probably won't draft me now because after this, they're not going to draft me. He said, no, if you're there, they're going to draft you because they need players like you. And he said, man, you know who you got into it with? And I go, yeah, Dave Corzine. So he starts laughing. And I'm really getting pissed now because everybody's laughing every time I say Dave Corzine. So he's like, he's like, no, man, you ever heard of Phil Jackson? And I at that time, I didn't know who Phil Jackson was. I'm like, I don't know who Phil Jackson, who is he? Is he from the CBA? Who is he from? He's like, he's assistant coach. He's the second in command as assistant coach. And you almost punched him. And I'm like, oh. And at that point, I knew I wasn't coming to Chicago. I was like, it's over, baby. So then I go shower, and I'm feeling like crap now because I'm like, man, they think I got a bad attitude. They think I'm uncoachable. So I come in the meeting with Jerry, and Jerry's sitting there, and he's like, it's like, Stacey, I just want to tell you, you can't do that. What if the Pistons do that and someone does that to you and you get ejected? It hurts the team, And I told him, I said, hey, Mr. Krause, I'm sorry. I said, where I'm from, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. You slap me, I'm going to slap you harder. That's just where I'm from. And then, Doug's in the back like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We need that, man. We need that mentality. So I was like, man, the coach like this. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then Phil comes in, and he's showered and everything, and he's walking in slow. I mean, he looks like Slender Man, that movie Slender Man. He's like real, he's like gangly coming in. And I'm sitting in a chair. So I'm thinking to myself, where I'm from, I got to know if this is over. And he's like, So I'm immediately getting ready to pounce up because, I didn't want him to jump on me when I'm in a chair. I mean, I'm done for. So I jumped up and was like, are we done? Is this over? And he's like, hey, everything's good. Everything's cool. I'm Phil Jackson. I'm like, I'm sorry, Coach, man. I thought you was Dave Corzine. My bad, man. I'm sorry. And so they all laughed about it. But that story is pretty is a funny story.
So every time that he didn't give you the minutes you were thinking about, it was all goes back to that incident.
America. Listen, if you follow me in my college career, I could not be guarded. Nobody could guard me. I averaged almost 30 points a game as a senior in college. The only person, I say this story all the time on this show, the only person that could guard Stacey King at the NBA level was Phil Jackson. Just like Michael Jordan, the only person that could guard Michael in college or hold Michael under 20 was Dean Smith.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with Phil Jackson. That's the only guy that could stop Stacey King. His defense, he was first team all defense when it came to me. I love Phil, though. Great coach and awesome dude. And like I said, I had some great memories with Phil. It was rocky in the beginning, for both me and BJ, because you're drafting in the lottery. I was a lottery pick. They had 3 first-round picks that year. They were a 50-win team. That's the reason now the NBA has put that protection pick in, that you can't trade a protected pick.
Right.
That draft was the reason why they did that. The Bulls really kind of started that. So. In the beginning, trying to fit in a role on a championship caliber team was tough. But once we bought into the system and put our egos to the side and not worried about how many points we score and all that stuff, it was tough. I ain't gonna lie, because when you come from a place where, you got the green light and then all of a sudden now they're telling you when you can score, like tonight you're just gonna rebound and play defense. And you're like, what? And then there'll be nights like, Stacey, we're turning you loose. We need 20 or more. And I'll be like, oh, thank you. They released the beast.
So even with all the analytics now in today's game and all the measurements they do, all the physical testing, it still comes down to who wants it the most, who has the strength and the character to be a champion. And Stacey obviously passed that test. So for all these youngsters that are hoping to get drafted in the first round, they're traveling from city to city, and they have to make sure that they can show potential employers that they can be an asset to their organization. So some things never change. Hey, Patrick Williams is a guy who's trying to fit in with the Chicago Bulls, and he's looking forward to a big third season in the NBA. Right now, Patrick is working out with DeMar DeRozan out in Los Angeles, so the paw is on deck. But before we bring him in, I want to tell you about our good friend Jeff Vukovic, who's one of our great sponsors. He is a loyal Bulls fan. You see him at the United Center attending those games. So when it comes to insurance for your auto, home, and business, we invite you to make sure to contact the king of insurance. That's our guy, Jeff Vukovic, at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. If you're watching, you see it on the screen right now, that all his particulars. Make sure to contact him for all your insurance needs. And Stacey, remember,
Nationwide is on your side. Woo! I like this new mic. Yeah. I like America. I feel like a singer in here. Ooh, yeah. Baby, I love you. Ooh.
You're going to be standing up soon with that new hip, huh?
Hey,
really get into it.
America. I just want to say, America. Wait a minute, America. I just want to say, this is pure dedication and work ethic.
That's right.
Okay? I just had hip surgery last week.
Yeah,
okay?
9 days after surgery.
9 days after surgery. I'm back in the Sriracha and the Hustle and Flow studios. I'm out here on pure heart and determination. My doctor told me, he said, Stacey, take it easy. Let's take it, take it week by week. I said, doctor, don't tell me that.
I got a job to do.
I got a job to do. I ain't got time to bleed.
Heart, hustle, and muscle.
Heart, hustle, and muscle, baby.
Stacey grabbed his hard hat and lunch pail.
Oh, heart, hustle, and muscle. This new mic, man. I feel like a singer now. I might be spinning like Elvis Presley pretty soon.
Hey, Dawn, get him off the painkillers.
Oh, yeah,
they're working.
Yeah, the painkillers are working, America. Woo! I'm a little loopy today.
We got an opioid violation.
I know everybody on the Twitch chat's looking forward to hearing from Patrick Williams. That's next as episode 83 of Give Me the Hot Sauce rolls on. The young star of the Chicago Bulls. It is now our pleasure to welcome in the Bulls' rising star forward, Patrick Williams, who's out in Los Angeles working out with his teammate, DeMar DeRozan. And Patrick, I guess that's a good place to start. I mean, DeMar said at the end of the season that he was going to have you out to L.A. and put you through the paces. Has he been a tough drill master out there in Los Angeles?
Definitely. I think it's just been fun for me just to be around him, kind of see his regimen, his schedule, his routine, and what got him to be who he is.
Let's talk a little bit about last year. You know, you started off the preseason. I thought you played great in the summer league and established yourself going into your second season. Started off well, then you get hurt early in the season against the Knicks trying to dunk on somebody, which I was excited about. Unfortunately, you got hurt and you missed most of the season. So talk a little bit about that and the transition from sitting on the bench watching the team play, and then what you learned from that, and then when you got back into the playing game at the end of the season.
For one, it's a huge difference for sure. You go from playing, obviously, like you said, I had a good summer league. I think I worked extremely hard last summer, just trying to be prepared. I kind of knew what was coming after having that rookie season under my belt. So I was looking forward to it. And then, of course, injury happened, which was devastating to me. But my mindset kind of shifted automatically to how can I make this work for me, instead of, because I can't change it. After the injury, I can't go back. I can't take that move back, take that play back. So my mind and just listening to my coaches, my teammates, guys that have kind of been through injuries, listening to them, my mind just automatically went to how can this help me? So started watching film a little bit more, started just thinking the game a little bit more, picking guys' brains. I would sit next to different people on the bench almost every game. Sometimes DeMar, sometimes Zach, sometimes Vooch. Sometimes it's Lonzo, just picking their brains, trying to see what they see. I think coming back, that definitely helped me. Obviously, it's a lot different. So just kind of building that bridge between what you saw while you're sitting out and kind of implementing that or using that to your advantage when you come back playing is definitely different. But I think I kind of did pretty well. The game kind of slowed down for me there towards the end. So part of the game.
Hey, Patrick, I know that you hear that a lot of the Bulls fans would like you to be a bigger scorer, and I know your teammates and your coaches have also encouraged you to be more aggressive on the offensive end, but I guess it's not that easy to just flip the switch. You're going to turn 21 later this summer. You're kind of working your way in. You've got elite scorers surrounding you, and DeMar and Zach and Vooch. What's that mental process like for you, trying to decide when it's your time to maybe attack on the offensive end and maybe the other times when you defer to your teammates?
For me, it's just kind of picking my spots, knowing when and where my spots are. Like you said, my coaches and teammates and front office and everybody around the team are just telling me to stay aggressive, be aggressive, and try to make plays, whether it's for myself or for teammates, for on both ends, honestly. So I think for me, it's just a matter of focusing on it in the game, being comfortable in all the positions that I'll be in. I think I kind of see it coming a little bit more and more. But I mean, it's on me. If I want to be who I want to be, that's something that has to happen. So the pressure's on me.
Talk about your rookie year at the end of the season last year. Coach Donovan took you to a playoff game up in Milwaukee. You got a chance to witness the playoff experience as a rookie, even though the Bulls didn't get there. And then this season, you get to that playoff situation. You got healthy at the end of the season, which I felt was a big boost for the team, giving them that power forward that they needed, an extra defender, extra rebounder. I thought you played extremely well for your first playoff game. I think you averaged just under 12 points a game. You had some big rebounding games, and it looked like you were confident playing there. Is that something that you're going to build on for this next season, Patrick?
For sure. I mean, I have to. Not only me, but the rest of the guys on the team. A lot of guys before this year didn't have any playoff experience. So now we have that. Now we can build off of that. Still relying on guys that have been there, whether it's a coach, whether it's a player that kind of been through the ringer, that's kind of have more experience than the others. But I think definitely having just one series under your belt definitely helps. So I think we all want to get back to that point. We see the difference between the regular season basketball and playoff basketball is totally different. And I think just coming into training camp, it'll be a different focus level for us because we know we can get there. We know what it takes to get there. We know what it takes to win games. So I think for us, it's just a matter of using what we saw, what we're still seeing throughout the playoffs, throughout the finals, and just using that to our advantage, coming in hungry, knowing that we can, knowing that we will, and just going after it.
Yeah, Patrick, then you got the team going with your comment, Giannis is good, but he's not God. And then he came and talked to you after Game 5. Did he say, hey, Patrick, I am kind of a god, so what were your comments after that?
No, nothing like that. I think I'm not even sure how the context of that came out, but after practice it was kind of we had media, and they had called me over to the media, and some guy had kind of asked a question. I don't think he did it on purpose. He kind of asked the question a little shaky, almost making it seem like I was scared of Giannis or we were scared of Giannis as a team. So that was kind of my first reaction, just to say that, first of all, we're not scared of him. Like, if we want to win games, if we want to beat the Bucks, we cannot be scared of Giannis. And I think that's kind of what I was trying to say. I don't think anybody on our team was scared of him. Obviously, he's a great player, MVP. Like, you can't take that away from him. But anytime you step into that court, step inside those four lines, you can't be scared of anybody. So that was kind of my message I was trying to get across.
Yeah, you tell him, Patrick. Ain't nobody scared in Chicago. Hey, our heart don't pump Kool-Aid here with the Bulls, baby.
You know that.
Hey, when it comes to shaky questions, our guy Timmy Whispers is the king. So you never know what he's going to ask. So we appreciate you rolling with that. Hey, both your parents played college basketball. What was it like growing up in that environment in Charlotte, and how much of an impact did they have on your basketball career growing up?
They had a huge impact, honestly. But it was a little bit different for me. They never forced me to play basketball. They always ask me, is this what you want to do? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And I would always tell them yes. But I mean, just seeing their work ethic, I think that's definitely what got instilled in me the most. Seeing whatever it was that they were doing, they went 110% in everything that they did. So just seeing that from a very young age, I think that definitely just stuck with me. That, and then just believing that you can do anything. They always say, if you have a goal, just go for it. Nobody can stop you from getting it. Nobody can stop you from not attaining the goal except you. So just that kind of fearlessness and just hard work ethic, I think, is what I took away the most.
When the season ended and, you realize that, you're going to have a little time off and you're going to heal up, and now you're out in LA working out with DeMar, and your mindset has to be, I know how it is, what part of your game do you feel you need to work on the most to be even more effective next year going into year 3?
Consistency, I would say, for me. I think it was points in seasons points of the last season in my rookie year where I played well. It was points where I didn't play too well. It was points where I shot the ball well, points where I didn't. So I think for me, especially last year, just because I think I played under 20 games. Just trying to kind of be consistent, whether it's being aggressive, whether it's getting downhill, whether it's being locked in defensively, whether it's rebounding the ball, just kind of being consistent. I think I've shown myself and I've shown the team that the team has faith in me that I can do whatever I say I can do. But it's just me being consistent with it. That's something that I definitely pick up from Vooch and Zach and DeMar and Lonzo and just anybody around the team, they're always consistent with what they do. That's something that I've seen just throughout being in the NBA from really good players. What good and bad games are going to happen, but they're always consistent with their approach. They're always consistent with how they play the game. So I just think being consistent is a big thing for mine. Of course, you can always be a better shooter, always be a better ball handler, being more comfortable to pick a role as a ball handler and screener, reading closeouts a little bit better. But I just think I've done all of those throughout the season. It's just about being consistent with it.
Hey, Patrick, I'm sure Bulls fans are very curious about what your workouts are like with DeMar out in Los Angeles. Take us through a typical day. How does the day fall for you when you're working out with DeMar?
So we have 5 a.m. lift, and the lift it's a different lift than any other lift that I've had in a while. It's more of, you do have weights in there, but it's a lot of body weight. It's a lot of movements that challenge your core. It's really mental. Everything he does is mental. Even if it's a lift, if it's an encore workout, if it's anything he does is always mental. He likes to play mind games. He likes to challenge himself mentally, as I see. So it's a 5 a.m. lift, and then right after the lift, we go on the court for about, I would say, 45 to an hour with handle life, dribble too much out here in LA, and then for the most part we're done until the afternoon. We go back and get more shots up, just get more reps. So and that's kind of his routine. I'm pretty sure he does a little bit more. But during the season, he goes in the afternoon. So he's just really consistent with getting extra shots up. So definitely just seeing his regimen, seeing his routine definitely helps me for sure. I don't have to do this. I don't have to get up at 5 a.m. But it's just making sure that I have routine, making sure that I stick with it.
You guys play one-on-one?
Oh yeah. We go at it. We go at it in the workouts. I think that's another thing that kind of makes him so good, because he's going against different people every summer. He invites different people out every summer, goes against them in the workouts, for sure. So I think he's been guarded by so many different people in the workouts that in the game's kind of second nature to him.
So it gives you a chance, basically, as a young player, to watch, learn, implement things that you may do in your future, because there may be times you may not go out there and work out with DeMar. You have your own workout regimen, and you find yourself inviting Kobe or some other guys out working with you.
Right, exactly. And I think it's more so of how he approaches the workouts as opposed to the actual routine. Kind of like I said, like waking up at 5 a.m. Like it's tough on the mental more than anything. The workout is at 5 a.m. So LA traffic, you got to get up at 3:30.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad out here. I had no clue, but I think it's just more mental for him. Kind of like I said, everything he does is a mental, has a mental aspect to it. So just waking up in the morning, can you lock in at 5 a.m.? Can you lock in for the whole lift of the workout? Can you lock in on the court after you just worked out and woke up at 5 a.m.? So those type of things. Can you push through fatigue? You just lifted. It was a tough lift. You just lifted. Now you're on the court and he's going against me. Can I lock in for these however many reps and go against Pat 100%? So I think that's been the biggest thing, just how he approaches it mentally, how he breaks down every aspect of what he does. Everything he does has a purpose. Everything he does has a meaning. Almost like just playing chess. Like everything he does is nothing that he does that's just he's doing it just to do it. Everything is kind of connected. Everything is kind of has a deeper meaning. So just kind of picking up on little things like that.
Hey, Patrick, I know Bulls fans are looking for the team to take that next step, get deep into the playoffs next year. With a healthy team, you guys have a really talented roster. As you look ahead to the offseason, are you a little bit nervous with Zach coming up on free agency? I know you guys want to keep this group together. Has there been communication with Zach amongst the guys trying to encourage him that, hey, if you stay here, we can do something special next year?
I think he knows. Especially after being in the playoffs last year. I think that was his first time getting to the playoffs. So I think he knows for sure that this team has something special. We're looking to kind of like you said, take that jump the next season and kind of be that team that the East has to go through. So I think he knows for sure. I've talked to him a little bit since the season ended, but honestly, it's his decision. Obviously, we would love to have him keep him in Chicago, but there's so many different factors and variables that go into that decision. But I think for me, just letting him know that I appreciate everything he's done for me. I hope he don't go because I want to keep learning from him and just being around him. He's such a good locker room guy and such a good guy off the court, on the court. Such a good guy to learn from. So I definitely don't want to see him go, but I think he knows that this team has something special, and he's definitely a big part of that.
Talk a little bit about your college experience playing for Leonard Hamilton. He's a good friend of mine. I love Coach Hamilton, and the adjustment it was when you came, because everybody still remember you're still a young kid. It's not like you're 24, 25 years old. You're 20 years old, right? You're 20. You haven't reached 21.
No.
So so you're still a young kid, and coming into the NBA, I know I came in as a 4-year player from Oklahoma University. I know how hard it was when you first come in because you're so used to doing certain things that are structured at the college level, but when you get to the pro level, it's like you got to figure it out on your own because everybody's got their own families, their own responsibilities. How hard was that when you first came in?
It was pretty tough. But I think just not having a summer league, not having barely a training camp. Training camp was condensed, and not really having any time to kind of get accustomed to the game before game time came. I think that kind of, I'm not sure if it hurt or helped. It kind of didn't let me overthink. I just had to go out there and play. So I think in that regard, it kind of helped. But obviously, you don't have time to watch as much film. You don't have time to practice as much. So it was definitely difficult. But kind of like leaning on guys like Zach, who came into the league early. Thad Young, who came to the league early. Garrett Temple, who was a 13-year vet. Just leaning on guys like that, they kind of kept me uplifted. And then once they saw, I guess, how hard I worked and that I was pretty good, they were always on my side. They always had my back. And they were always just checking in on me, making sure that I was okay. And, of course, Kobe White, I knew him from before, from North Carolina. So they were always just checking in on me, asking me questions. I could always ask them questions at any time. So it just kind of made it smoother, just kind of having those guys that you could talk to at any time. But being at FSU was definitely, I think, a great decision for me. Their offense is almost 95% pick and roll. So I think just kind of being in those situations, kind of knowing how to make reads. The reads are definitely different, but kind of being comfortable with the ball in your hand, coming off pick and roll, or being comfortable setting a pick and roll. I think that definitely translated or made the translation easier for me coming into the NBA.
How about your current coaching staff? Obviously, Billy's gone to great lengths to try to open lines of communication and work really closely with you. You got a Hall of Famer in Mo Cheeks, some really good people on that bench. What's it been like working with the Bulls staff, and how much more do you think that they can help in your development?
It's been great. Honestly. Just being around those guys and picking their brain as well. I pick their brain just as much as as the players. So, of course, you mentioned Mo Cheeks, who we talk almost every day, just about anything, about the finals, about the playoffs, about life, just about anything. Talk to him almost every day. And then, of course, Billy, I haven't heard of. Obviously, Billy's my only NBA head coach, but just listen to other guys. There really isn't a lot of NBA head coaches that reach out that much and want to be as involved as he does. And obviously he knows what he's doing. So anytime he reaches out, it's always something productive, something that could get me better. And then the rest of the coaching staff as well has been super helpful in my development. I think I'm close with all the coaches, player development staff as well. So I think last summer and also this year, when I was out for injury, it helped me a lot. Just keeping my mental right, not getting too lost and too high, too low, or anything like that. So they've been super helpful. I can't even explain how helpful they've been and get me through summers and get me through injuries. So I love those guys.
Well, I know the summer's here, and I know you're probably working on your French because, we're going over to France over in January. So you better be working on your French. I've already been speaking French for a little bit, so if you need some help, parlez-vous français, oui, just come ask me.
I know no French, so I'll just be standing behind you.
You excited about that? You excited to go over there and play?
I am. I've never really been outside the country except playing Toronto this year. So, I mean, it's definitely an experience basketball-wise and, just in life. I think you can't just blow by the fact that we're going to Italy, to play basketball. It still blows my mind. But I'm looking forward to it. Just seeing the culture. Of course, playing basketball as well, but just seeing the culture, seeing how different it is from over here.
Patrick coming in.
Different.
Yeah, coming in as a young guy, Bulls fans haven't really got a chance to get to know you that well. What are your interests outside of basketball? What kind of things do you like to do?
I really don't have many interests outside of basketball. Coming from high school, from young to high school to college, it was all basketball 24/7. So obviously come to the NBA, you have so much free time. I really don't know how to fill that time. I'm not a gamer. I don't play video games.
Music?
I like to watch music. I do like music. I love music. I do love music. I probably listen to music for the most part. That's probably what I do. But I mean, after, especially out here, 5 a.m. on the court, take a nap, we wake up, eat a little bit, and it's time to go back. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of helps me. I learned how to play chess when I was injured. I learned how to play chess. Kind of got into it. Not really good at it, but I know how pieces move and I know how to play. I've won a couple matches, so I know how to play. I'm not really good at it, but I know how to play. So
there you go, Whispers.
Yeah.
Say that again.
No, Timmy Whispers will take you on in a game.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm a grandmaster, but don't worry about it.
Oh my God, this guy.
You gotta teach me something. Man. But
I know all the
that's pretty much about it.
So this is my final question for you. My final question for you, Pat. Now you played against your rookie year. You had to guard the toughest player every single night as a rookie. That's the hardest thing to do. Who is the hardest guy for you to cover? When you look on that sheet, you were saying we're playing such and such. Which guy gives you the toughest matchup?
I think it's tough. There's a lot of great players in the league. I think for sure Kevin Durant is one of the toughest. Just his length, his ability to get to his spots at all times. And he has a high release and a quick release, which kind of makes it hard to contest. And then the ball's on a string as well, so it's tough to guard him. DeMar was tough as well, just because the scout report on him was he likes to get to the mid range, stay down on pump fakes, but you see how many people jump for pump fakes. You see how
they all go for it.
They all do. So his footwork in the post, just everything about his game. you're not going to speed him up. You're not going to get him away from his spots. And if he wants to score, he's going to score. So he was tough. Luka was tough, almost along the same lines of just pace, big body. You can't really move him off his line. And then when he's making shots, he's super tough to guard. Brown was tough, of course. Just his ability to get others involved. The scouting report on him was almost. I mean, it's tough because you don't want to let him get off, but you also don't want to let him get others involved because he's super good both ways. So he was tough as well. You just didn't really know how to guard him at certain points of the game. Kawhi was tough. Kawhi was fun as well. He's going to get to his spots. Yeah, they're all tough.
There's no nights off in the NBA.
No, definitely not.
Whispers, you got anything else before we say goodbye to our guests?
Well, I just brought up Kawhi. You get all these comparisons to Kawhi, so do you embrace that? I think it's a great comparison and where you can go with your game.
I mean, I definitely embrace it. Anytime you get compared or related to an all-time great, I think it can be nothing but positive depending on how you look at it. I definitely watch some of his film. I watch other guys as well, but I definitely watch some of his film, especially high school, college. When I was in college, they used to put it like I would make a play, and then side by side would be Kawhi making that same play. So I watch Kawhi film all the time. But I think I definitely embrace it. Just being one of the best two-way wings in the league, I think anybody can kind of pick up on that. So just kind of watching the way he works, the detail that he works with, and then just being around guys that have also been around him. I get that comparison a lot. So I think it's definitely worth looking into and worth exploring, knowing that there are certain things that got him to that point. He wasn't that player when he came into the league. So I think that's definitely something that I can look forward to, how he got better every single year that he was in the league. So I think that's definitely something that I could kind of emulate.
We see it.
I don't really see. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't see it, but I really haven't looked that much into it. Of course, I watch his film, but I really haven't looked that much into it as far as the way I move, the way I shoot. I've heard it, but I haven't really seen it. So it's all good and well.
Well, we see it on a nightly basis, and what I want to see more of this season, and I think that you will really help this team out, is when you get the ball off the glass and you push it in transition and you're thrusting the ball up the floor. I thought that was a huge addition to this team as you came in as a rookie, and I saw it again towards the playoffs. Is that something you want to do more of next season?
For sure. I think any chance we get to play fast, I think that's going to be in our benefit when you have guys like Zach, guys like Lonzo, guys like Derrick Jones. Just we have so many players that are so good in transition. I think I and DeMar and Lonzo and Zach and pretty much anybody who gets to rebound that's a guard or a wing. I think we could definitely do that. Kind of collapse the defense a little bit, get us easy looks from the 3-point line and from at the rim. Just kind of being aggressive that way. So I definitely think that's something that I can do a little bit more of, focus a little bit more of. I think that kind of goes back into being consistent as far as rebounding, give myself more opportunities to do that, as well as running the lane. I think we got some really good rebounding guards. So as well as running the lane when they get it, but for sure coming back on the defensive boards, rebounding the ball, and then being able to get out.
Hey Patrick, because you missed so much of year 2, are you thinking about playing some summer league, or at least maybe working out with those guys before they go out to Las Vegas?
I'm definitely thinking about working out with them. I won't be playing summer league.
Mm-hmm.
I will be out there, watching the guys and just being around them. So I definitely plan on working out with them probably. just kind of like you said, I didn't play too many games this season, so any chance I get to, whether it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 5-on-5, pick up, as long as it's around the right people and in the right setting, I'm always, looking forward to getting some run and playing a little bit.
Well, I know Bulls Nation is excited to have you back for year 3.
Yeah.
We're expecting really big things out of you this year, Patrick. I know, because I always say you like a Ferrari. You just don't know how to drive it yet. And I think in year 3, you're going to be driving that Ferrari up and down that boy, and you're going to help us get to where we need to go, man. And I appreciate you coming on the show today. It really meant a lot to me having you on the show. You know how I feel about you, boy.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and please tell DeMar we say what's up. He was a guest on Gimme the Hot Sauce earlier this year. We had a great time with him, and I know he's going to teach you some of the ins and outs that are going to be so valuable in year 3. Patrick Williams, our guest on Gimme the Hot Sauce, episode 82. Will roll on after a quick timeout. So great to catch up with Patrick Williams. He's going to have a big 3rd year in the NBA. He's been working on stuff with DeMar. I'll tell you what, Stacey, if you want to have someone show you the ins and outs of the mid-range game, ain't nobody better than DeMar DeRozan.
Well, the good thing about that, Mark, is not only is he going to learn the mid-range game, he's learning how to be a professional, learning how to prepare, learning how to get a routine. You got to remember, he's only 20 years old. I mean, he's still a young player. And so being out there with a veteran, taking him under his wing, getting up every morning in L.A. to beat traffic at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Up at 3.
Up at 3 to get there by 5, constantly working out through the year, through the day, is only going to make him a better player. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring in year 3.
I think sometimes people make the mistake because he's soft-spoken and he doesn't brag about himself that he doesn't have that hunger inside. Those are two different things.
Well, I mean, you hear people going, well, does he have that dog in him? And all this other. You know what? He's got the – let me just tell you this, America. He's got the athleticism to be an elite player, two-way player in this league, okay? He's a young kid, still learning his way. He's got a lot of veterans to learn from. Also, it helps that Billy Donovan's his coach, because Billy Donovan – sometimes a coach, and we talk about this a lot, Mark, is that, a good coach, a sign of a good coach is being able to get the best out of everyone, but doing it in different ways. You can't, do Patrick like you do DeMar or Zach, proven stars. You got to cultivate him. You got to pull that out of him. And he's a guy that needs to hear, Patrick, you're doing a great job. Patrick, we know you can go out there and give me 25. Go do it. He needs to hear that kind of stuff.
We're going to talk a little bit of football and baseball before we get out of here. But first, I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors. Windy City Limousine provides championship service. They make sure the King and Dawn get here safely each and every Thursday. Making a reservation is so easy, it's a slam dunk. Let Windy City break the full court pressure of traffic and get you to your destination in style and on time. Make sure to contact us at 866-94-WINDY. And if you drop Stacey's name, they'll probably say, we love Stacey. They may not give you anything off on your fare, but
listen, America, a few of our reads, we give you discounts, okay? But I ain't gonna lie. I don't want you to call Windy City and say code 21 and they laugh at you, okay?
Yeah.
Just being honest with you. If you can get one, if you can drop my name and get a discount, go for it. But it's a great limousine service. Shout out to my man George Jacobs. They do a good job. My driver Gene Jesrick, who just retired this week. And so I got my new driver Mike. He's my new driver now. I only hire guys that are like black belts. Okay, black belts in hip keto, karate, jiu-jitsu.
You drove another guy out of the business.
Wing Chun. Who did?
You did. That's why he quit.
You know what? First of all, America, if you hear somebody go, he just got throat punched. Okay? If you hear that noise, he just got throat punched. Before I was rudely interrupted to my left by Timmy Whispers, Clay Aiken Jr., Rick Ansley, I'm never going to give you up. I'm never going to let you down. Get us back on the track, Mark. Get us back on the track.
Dawn, get him a painkiller.
Yeah, Americans painkillers. I'm telling you right now, I'm a little on the loop side right now with the hip. But hey, listen, you know what? Back to what I'm saying. My two drivers are great. Limousine, Windy City is awesome. If you need a good limousine, a bus, make sure you contact Windy City. They do a great job, man. I use them all the time. Been using them for years, and they're awesome.
You know, could use limousine is Justin Fields, because after that offensive line lets that pass rush come in, he's not walking real good after that.
You know, listen, hey, what did we say, Mark, from day one with this kid when he was going to be named the starter?
Yeah.
If they don't spend the money on the offensive line and protect this kid, you're going to have the same kind of situation.
And they didn't.
And they didn't, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the weapons are not there for him. The line is not there for him. The running game is going to suffer. I mean, you're putting this kid in a tough situation to succeed, and it's kind of looking to me kind of like what they did to Mitchell Trubisky. Trubisky comes off an All-Pro year, without a good line, and he's running for his life, and he's out the pocket making plays, and he looked great. And then the next year, everybody's like, he can't play. Trade him, he sucks. Get him out of here. You know, so I hope that doesn't happen to Fields because he's a talent.
Yeah, my daughter went to Ohio State, so I watched just about every Buckeye game. I'll tell you what, this kid was remarkable as a playmaker in college, not only with his passing, but his ability to run out of the pocket and make plays with his legs. I think if they give him the weapons, they give him a NFL quality offensive line, he's going to do some special things here in Chicago. It's just a question of people have to be patient. He had no chance last year.
None.
The coaching staff, the whole entire offense under Matt Nagy was designed for a guy like Andy Dalton or Nick Foles to kind of color by numbers. It wasn't built for Justin Fields.
Well, I wish they would have called me because, I use Justin Fields in Madden. And, I mean, he's throwing for 400, 500 yards a game. He's running for like 150. We just can't be stopped. So if they would have just called me and said, Stacey, come here, let's talk about your offensive play calling on Madden. And we would have won. They would have won. But at the end of the day, I mean, Justin Fields, you talk about how good he was at Ohio State. It goes back to high school. If you remember that QB1 show on Netflix.
Yes, I do.
In Georgia, he was a top quarterback then. He went to Georgia, and he sat behind the quarterback there for a year and realized, like, that quarterback, he wasn't going to go pro, and he was going to stay there another couple of years. He would never have gotten to play. If he would have stayed at Georgia, we might have only seen 1 year of Justin Fields. We would not have really got a chance to see him play. That move to Ohio State was a big move for him. Awesome move for him, and I just hope the Bears realize it's been proven all through the last 50 years how important the quarterback is. That's why they're the highest paid players on teams. If you're going to make an investment in this kid in the future of your franchise, you've got to put him behind an offensive line that can protect him. Kind of like Lamar Jackson, what they do in Baltimore. I'm not a big fan of Lamar running 100 times a game because I think you put that kid, he's not a big kid. His speed is really what sets him apart. But when they come to playoffs, if you look at Baltimore in the playoffs, you got to pass now. The game changes. They stack the line of scrimmage and force him to have to beat them, and that's where he struggled. I think the difference between Justin Fields, he's a passer first, runner second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so he can make plays with his arms. He can make every throw, every big throw. He's got a cannon of an arm, and then he can run when he needs to. But he is a quarterback first, where Lamar Jackson to me is more of a runner first, quarterback second. But his talent is so enormous that he can get away with it.
Yeah, the key with the new coaching staff is hopefully Justin Fields makes some great strides in year 2 of his NFL career. A lot of the NFL experts are saying the Bears could be one of the worst teams in the league this year. You look at the top, and a lot of people, the trendy pick is the Buffalo Bills are hot right now with Josh Allen at quarterback. But
San Diego,
right,
Denver
Chargers.
with Russell Wilson is there too.
Yeah.
So, those are all there, and Kansas City's still there. So those are the top 4 teams that
Rams.
Rams in the NFC. But to the AFC, they're talking about the AFC. Those are the 4 teams. The NFC, you got Tom Brady back in Tampa is going to be tough. You got you look at what Green Bay, even though they lost Devontae Adams, they still got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's proven that he can throw the ball to anybody, and their system is proven that. So. The Bears have an opportunity because especially in their division, there's not really anybody that, Detroit doesn't scare you, Minnesota doesn't scare you. The only team that you really have to fight against is Green Bay every year, and they're at a point right now they have come down. I mean, as long as you got Aaron Rodgers, you got a shot. But they're not the same they won't be the same Green Bay Packer team that we've seen the last 2 years when they go 12-2, 13-1. We're not going to see that.
Hey, if you're still following us on the Twitch feed, we're monitoring it. If you got any questions about the Bulls or anything else, we'll try to get a couple in before we wrap up here. So send those questions on the chat line, and we'll try to get to them as quickly as we can. Want to talk a little bit of baseball, which is kind of a scary topic in Chicago. We're taping on Thursday afternoon, and the Cubs lost their 10th game in a row this afternoon, 10-4. 6-4 to the San Diego Padres. So they've lost 10 games in a row. And now guess what happens? The Atlanta Braves come into town. They'll play a 3-game series at Wrigley Field Friday afternoon. The Braves have won 14 in a row. Talk about your classic mismatch on paper.
It doesn't seem good for the Cubs. Let's just say this, Mark. Let's just hope there's good weather. And the bleachers.
And the beer's cold.
The beer's cold.
We're back to Cubs baseball.
And we're back to Cubs baseball, enjoying ourselves out there, singing the 7th inning stretch, and just having fun. This team is rebuilding. We know that. They're not going to contend for a while. Let's just be honest. They got rid of all their guys that still had baseball left. We see how these guys playing now, and they're having Anthony Rizzo. I mean, that's the one guy. When you say Mr. Cub, the modern day Mr. Cub, that's the guy you hold on to. That's the guy you keep. And having a guy like that in your lineup every day that's going to show up and play every day is going to be a leader in the locker room, help some of these younger players understand what it's like to be in the major leagues and how you prepare, and then also being able to possibly recruit guys to come play with him. Chris Bryant still had a lot of baseball left in him. If Javi Lopez is the one guy, because you can't keep, if you're like basing salaries, Javi Lopez is the one guy I think, and even though I love Javi Baez, yeah, I believe that he, like, the money that he want, you couldn't pay him. But if you go out and get a Carlos Correa, who was on the books this year, and you pair him with Chris Bryant and you pair him with Anthony Rizzo, I mean, look at your team.
Yeah, they might get Correa next year because he's got an opt-out in his contract with the Twins.
Not if they ain't winning.
And he was a guest earlier on the Gimme the Hot Sauce.
Yeah, we're back to the old Chicago saying. We play baseball on the south side. We socialize on the north side.
Well, that's a big part of what's going on there. And with all the renovations they did, you got the new hotel and they got all the new restaurants around there. And the Cubs have Marquee Sports Network. They've got the money to improve the team. They just haven't
Joe Madden's out there.
Yeah, well, he'll probably be a commentator at some point. I don't think he's going to be managing anymore.
What's it, Joe Girardi? What's his name?
Joe Girardi.
Yeah, he just got fired too.
Yeah.
So a lot of Cubs
they like David Ross. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I like Ross. Ross just doesn't have a lot of talent right now.
Hey, before we get a couple of questions in and wrap up the show, Stacey, you got news about a sponsor. Not exactly a new sponsor, but one that's coming back with renewed vigor, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, once he saw that we got past 5 episodes, he decided to jump back on. Yeah, little Chief Little Legs. Okay, I know he's listening right now. All right, America. Angel Water is Chicagoland's largest water conditioning service for healthy water, for a healthy you and a healthy home.
Oh, I like the graphic, too.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Look at that. Woo! Boy, nice. We're doing big things over here, my little crew, my little Harper crew. Angel will test your water for free with code KING21. That's
there's
right.
the code.
There it is. And this is legit.
Yeah.
You say code KING21, you're going to get your water tested for free. Call 847-382-7800.
What's that number again?
847-382-7800.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked it. You liked it, didn't you? I get to
nice.
sing now. Okay. Don't interrupt me again. For a free water test and healthy water plan with code KING21 at 847-382-7800. The Golden Pipes, man, I'm telling you. I got to break this commercial up right now. The Golden Pipes are real, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to throw that out. Now I got a microphone now because, my hip is a little sore right now, so I got the microphone.
Into dinner theater all of a sudden.
So now I'm starting to, I'm like a lounge singer now. I'm like a lounge singer right now. We just need some
Must
cigars.
be from drinking that Angel water.
Hey, wait a minute. First of all, there's too many
stuff.
First of all, I'm not a lounge singer. There's too many guys in here. I'm just sorry. I need to have ladies in here. Maddie's the only lady here, but I need more. I can't sing with a bunch of guys. It's like a Bob Evans sausage in here, brother. Hey, back to Angel Water Salt.
Yes, indeed. Let's do that.
It's what I have used for 20 years. And Angel,
protecting the Golden Pipes.
Yeah, protecting the Golden Pipes.
Keeping you hydrated.
Well, why do we need Angel Water Salt, Tim?
Well, because you could find some pretty bad stuff in your water.
Like what?
E. coli. You know what that is,
People
right?
are enjoying their dinner right now.
Yeah. We just lost some fans.
Pesticides and chromium-6. Remember that movie? No? I guess
no. What was
You're bringing the vibe down with that.
Hey,
Moon Killer.
Sorry.
We got a Moon Killer.
Basically, you've been poisoning yourself for years.
Angel Water will take care of all of that for us, so give them a call today. And make sure to use the code KING21.
KING21.
It won't work at Windy City, but it will work at Angel.
We may get it to work at Windy City, though. America, don't try it. You never know. Try it.
Hey, Stacey's got his White Sox cap on, and the big topic with the White Sox is Tony La Russa still a viable major league manager. All the controversy about him walking a guy in a 1-2 count, but They swept the series in Detroit. They scored a ton of runs. Maybe things are looking up now.
It seems like everybody's waiting for Tony La Russa just to make a mistake so they can just jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I thought you were going to say something else. I was kind of afraid.
No,
for a
I'm a
second.
Tony La Russa fan. Listen, I'm a Tony La Russa fan. But it's like every time you talk about the White Sox, you just hear people, they don't talk about the injuries. They don't talk about the guys being out. They just talk about the mistakes that they believe Tony La Russa makes. You know, oh, yeah, he was sleeping in the dugout and all this other stuff. Man, leave Tony La Russa alone, okay? The White Sox right now are just really snake bitten with injuries to their key players. The pitchers are out. I mean, you're not going to win. Last year, we talked about this, Mark. Last year, they had a lot of quality depth. They could turn to guys and play guys for a couple of weeks when a guy was out. They don't have that luxury for that. Whatever reason this year, they don't have that luxury. So that's the reason why they're struggling. So everybody get off my man, Tony La Russa.
Well, you know, he could have managed in the 30s and 40s. Oh, wait, he did.
He did.
Wow. See, America. See, this is what I'm talking about. This man, you're picking on Tony La Russa. Why don't you like Tony La Russa?
I think he's great.
And see, he's lying,
Whispers.
America. He's lying. See, he's lying. He just said bad things about him before we came back on Twitch.
Yeah.
He didn't want to say anything on live because he didn't want Tony La Russa to show up over here at the Teleray Studios
Those
and
cousins.
give him a throat punch.
And whoop your ass.
Whoop your ass.
Yeah, it'd be like that guy in that
I
video.
wanted to check the standings while you were giving that rant. They're only 5 games out, and the Twins aren't exactly a juggernaut. So it wouldn't take a whole bunch of
Oh,
time
they turn
to get back
around.
in it.
That's
Yeah.
more about the injuries.
Listen. All you need to do is win a couple of games. Win a couple of games, get your confidence going. You know, play a good series here and there. Limit the mistakes. Don't give up a lot of runs. I mean, it sounds simple.
They're about to pick up Kyle Hendricks, Ian Happ, and I don't know.
No, Frankie Montas from Oakland. Oakland's selling everybody out. Get a flamethrower in that.
Yeah, that's another team. They're like Oklahoma City in the NBA, a small market team.
Right.
They develop
Everything
their talent.
must go.
They develop their talent and then send them off somewhere else where they become superstars. It's crazy how they do that.
Maybe
the Moneyball effect.
Yeah, maybe the Cubs get Aaron Judge next year. He had his 26th home run, I think.
Judge ain't going nowhere.
No, probably not.
No, you know, that's a generational talent, bro.
But he's going to play that free agent game. He's going to get paid big time.
he's going to get paid. I mean, he deserves to get paid. I mean, you putting up the numbers that Judge is putting up. You know, guys putting people in the seats. You know, people love, they love the long ball. You say the chicks love the long ball. I ain't going to lie. Like, Tim loves the long ball. He loves long balls.
I do.
There you go. See, America? He does. That's what I'm talking about.
where you can find
no,
some.
seriously. What? Okay, you just went on.
You talking about your health club experience again? Man code violation.
Yes.
Man code violation.
come on.
That's
now.
right. Get out the blow dryer.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
okay.
You know what? I think
we just
we're,
lost
we're
some sponsors.
almost ready to wrap up this, but we want to get out to the Twitch chat. We got some good questions coming
let's
in.
do it.
Our guy Young Jordan 301 asked Stacey, realistically, if we trade Kobe in the 18th pick, who could we get to make the team better?
Oh, man. That's interesting because after seeing the Christian Wood trade and what it took to get him, I mean, our package would have been better with Houston than what Dallas gave up. You know what I'm saying? Kobe White is a legit NBA shooting guard that can light up and score 30. He's had 30-point games in his career. He's a proven player. You know, guys like Trey Burke, Boban, those guys are in the league, but they're not proven players. I still think Kobe White has an opportunity to be in the rotation, a six-man, maybe one of those guys kind of like Pat Connaughton, a guy that comes in, scores points for you, and makes your team better. You know, Jamal Crawford, Ben Gordon type of line guy. So if you can get Christian Wood with, just basically trading the 26th pick in the draft and a year's supply of Doritos, Cool Ranch, I mean, Kobe can fetch somebody good too. At the 18th pick and Kobe, you're getting a guy that's a starter on most teams. So, I mean, I'd hate to see Kobe go because I like Kobe, and I still think Kobe has a role on this team. It's just they have to find where he's best at. He's not a point guard. He's a scoring guard, and he can shoot lights out. And just bring him off the bench and say, hey, we're gonna convert you to a six-man role, and you're gonna be instant offense. Just like back in the day when you had Vinnie Johnson, you have all these guys who really relished those roles as six-man and played them to the utmost. Eddie Johnson, who's in the Phoenix commentator, he was a six-man. Dale Ellis. I mean, there's so many guys that have really flourished in that role and become all-stars out of that role.
One name to watch, Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks, a shot blocker, rim protector, is going to be a restricted free agent. I don't know if Tibbs was going to want to do business with the Bulls, but he could be a guy that's out there because the Knicks and a lot of the mock drafts I looked at are maybe will take Mark Williams from Duke. So they may be looking to trade Mitchell Robinson. Maybe that's something that you could trade Kobe White and both sides would benefit.
Well, it's all going to depend on where Mark Williams goes. If he happens to fall somewhere where the Knicks can draft him, or someone like, let's say, Orlando. Because Orlando's going to take Chet Holmgren, or they're going to take
Jabari
Smith.
Yeah.
So that's 1 and 2. And again, I say this, Mark, about Chet Holmgren, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a good NBA player. But what the hell is the difference between him and Bol Bol? You've seen Bol Bol. You did a lot of Windy City games. Yep. You've seen him and his skill set. The kid can shoot, pass. He can do all the things. Maybe he doesn't have the body weight. But what's the difference between the two? You can't say, somebody said, well, Chet's a better shot blocker. Yeah, I mean, that's in high school you're a great shot blocker. You're playing against guys 5'10". And so what makes the difference between him and Bol Bol? And if you're going to take him at 2, you're betting and banging that kid's going to be a star, that he's going to be an all-star caliber player. And that's why Mo Bamba, I think, is going to be expendable, because if they go with a bigger guy, because you already got Wendell Carter Jr. there. You're going to get Jonathan Isaac back, who they haven't had back in like 2.5 years. So they've got a lot of abundance of big guys. So where do you go? That's where I think Mo Bamba is going to be available. That's the guy I would take a look at. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of moves that are going to be happening in the offseason. I mean, no matter which team wins the title, whether it's Boston or Golden State, neither one of those teams is looked at as a team that's a juggernaut. We can't possibly beat them. So anybody that thinks they got a chance for a title, they're going to be making moves. And one thing I can guarantee you is AK is not just going to pick 18, sign a bargain basement free agent, and say, okay, let's start next year. He's going to make some changes to this roster to try to give him the best chance to contend.
Well, I mean, his track record proves that here with the Bulls. I mean, he's not afraid to make bold moves, and he understands that the core group of guys, you bring Zach back in this core, he's the future and the face of the franchise. You got DeMar for 2 more years, and the key with DeMar is how many years can DeMar play at the level that he played at this past season? Me personally, I think he's still going to play at a high level. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to get 23, 24 points a game, and that is very good, considering his age. He's a guy that really works hard on his body, comes in shape. He's very durable. He doesn't miss a lot of games. So I think Bulls Nation, what you saw in DeMar, you may not see that, where he goes in that stretch where he has 30 points in, 7, 8 games, however many it was. You may not see that guy we saw last year, but you're going to see a guy pretty close to that. And depending on if they get a shooter and a big, the Bulls, they're going to win 50-plus games next year. You remember, ladies and gentlemen, Bulls Nation, I'm telling you right now, mark it down. They are going to win 50-plus games. They won 45, 46 this year. And, and they lost a lot of games in the second half after All-Star break that they shouldn't have lost. So they would have easily won 50 games then. So mark it down, 50-plus wins next year. They're going to get past the first round. I don't know where they're going to go after that, but I feel like they have a good enough team. Lonzo Ball comes back healthy, and then AK and them do their magic. This is going to be a team that's going to win 50-plus games and go deep in the playoffs.
One other shout-out on Twitch comes from Hagens3. He says, props to Stacey and Adam for staying after games and taking pictures. Means a lot to the fans. Stacey King, always a man of the people.
You know what? I've been told I should run for mayor, because I'm a man of the people.
That's right.
And listen, Bulls Nation is the best. We led the league in attendance at home and on the road. That's an amazing thing. And when you go on the road and you're going to Phoenix or you're in LA or whatever, Utah, and you see all those black and red jerseys with Bulls on it, it makes you feel like you're playing at home. And so we owe it to the fans. The players owe it to the fans every single night they come out and play, to give maximum effort. That's what, when we were winning championships, that was the one thing Phil Jackson always instilled in us, is because this is a blue-collar city. And you got to come out and it doesn't matter how much money you make or how many points you score. The goal is to come out every night and give the people a show and an honest effort. And if you do that, they respect that. And so I've carried that over to broadcasting. If you can't come to the United Center and check out a game, me and Adam make sure that you're entertained at home. And then when I'm at home, I've been doing it now for probably since I've been doing broadcasting, 15, 16 years, people come down, they want to get pictures and autographs. And, COVID has kind of changed that a little bit, but I still try to do it. And, I feel like if anybody's going to stay after the game 30, 40 minutes to wait for an autograph or a picture with me, I owe it to them to take that picture and to be, to be nice about it. I never turn anybody down as long as you're not rude.
And now signing hot sauce bottles.
Yes, now we're signing hot sauce bottles,
common.
and anything a person wants, if you come, like I said, Mark, you know how it is. If people are nice and they come down and take the time to come down, I have to be able to do that. My mom always told me, a quick story real quick. When I was when I was 14 years old, we used to go watch Oklahoma play basketball. And after, Oklahoma wasn't really good at the time because Nolan Richardson and the Tulsa Hurricanes were the best team in Oklahoma. And they had Paul Presley and Brian Winters, NBA guys. So they used to beat Oklahoma really bad. But after the games, the final game of the season, Oklahoma's players, they would, set up tables and sign autographs. So I would go down, I had favorite players. They all had nicknames. And my favorite player was Big Time Jones with the afro. Guy was just 6'10". He looked like Coolidge off of The White Shadow. And I really liked him. He was my guy I looked up to. So after the game, he's walking off the court. They just got beat by about 30. So I understand as a player he's upset, but as a kid you don't know that.
Right.
So I'm running. All the other players are going to get autographs from everybody else. I'm going after Big Time Jones, and it was kind of one of those moments like the Mean Joe Green commercial and the Coke commercial. Yeah. So the guy's walking off, and I'm like, and I'm yelling, Big Time, Big Time. Can I get your autograph? Can I get your autograph? And so he acted like he didn't hear me, but I know he did. So I ran up to him and I kind of tugged on his shirt, and I'm like, Big Time, you're my favorite. Can I get your autograph? And he turned around and said, "Get the hell away from me." and I looked at him and I'm like. I was shocked. So I was like, what? And he's like, get the F away from me. And then I was like, well, you suck anyway. That's why you lost. and then he gave me one little flinch. He's like, like you flinch like he's going to hit you. Yeah. And I didn't budge. He might have knocked me out, but I didn't budge. So I go back home. I'm upset about it. My mom asked me when I came, how was the game? Did Oklahoma win? I said, no, Mom, they suck. And she goes, why are you so mad? And I said, I went to get an autograph from Big Time Jones, and he just like basically threatened to beat me up. And she said, what? He didn't give you an autograph? I said, no, everybody else got autographs. I didn't get autographs. So my mom made me promise right then and there as an 8th grader. She said, no matter how famous you get and no matter how big you think you are, never do that, because you saw the impact that he made on you, and you can imagine if you do that to a child or a kid. And so don't ever do that, no matter how big you are. So at that point, I remember that. So here's karma. Here's karma, America. Quick karma. So Big Time Jones comes back. I'm a big-time player at Oklahoma. I'm a 2-time All-American. We're playing Missouri, number 1 versus number 3. And we always bring back Sooner legends to come back and give them special gifts and stuff. So at halftime, they have a list, and they're telling each player where they're supposed to go. So I ended up switching with Harvey Grant because he had Big Time Jones, and I had someone else. I said, Harvey, let me have Big Time Jones. And he's all right, sure, no problem. So I take Big Time Jones. Now, Big Time Jones he just knows me as Stacey King, balling Stacey King from Oklahoma. So I go out there, and they're introducing him, and his wife and children's out there. So I bring this box of something. I don't even remember what it was. Oklahoma we had a lot of money, so it might have been a Rolex. We weren't cheap in Oklahoma. This statute of limitations. So I go out to Big Time Jones, and I shake his hand. Welcome back, Big Time Jones. Congratulations, yada, yada. So he's like, thank you. I said, so you don't remember me, do you? And he looks at me. He's like, man, I just see you on TV all the time. I live in, wherever, California. I watch the Oklahoma, man, you're killing this year. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to be a first-round pick, yada, yada. I said, no. You don't remember me. We were on this court, back in like 1982. And I said, I came out here and asked for your autograph, and you basically told me to, leave you the F alone. And he's like, oh, you knew he knew. Like, you could tell in the guy's face that he knew. And so he goes, and his wife goes, his name was Charles. And she goes, Charles, did you say that? Did you do that? And she goes, I don't remember doing that. I don't think I'd ever do that. She goes, yeah, it sounds like you. You did do it. I go, yeah. And so I told him, I said, yeah, you did. And I said, I just want to tell you thank you for doing that, because you've instilled in me to never do that to anybody. because that was crushing to me. And I said I would never do that to anybody because I wouldn't want them to feel the way you made me feel. And then you could just see the life going out of them after I said that. And I said, enjoy the game. I'm finna go ahead and finish this game. I'm getting ready to drop 45.
It was a rough trip home for the Jones
Yeah, it was a rough
family.
trip. Rough trip. He never came back to any more get-togethers either.
You know what they say about karma.
Yeah, it's a bitch.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are still working on a new flavor. Give me the hot sauce. You ready to reveal that secret yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well,
Okay.
it's kind of
Might be called voodoo.
It might be called voodoo. It's his little voodoo doll right
Yeah.
here. This is Tim's favorite thing right here. This is a little voodoo doll, and I think it's supposed to be me. And no wonder why my hip is sore today because he pulled out a pin, and I'm a little sore right now.
Yeah, well, maybe we can.
How about Tim? Let's pull out this little gift Tim gave me today. Tim, pull out this gift, Tim. Show. This is a collector's item, America. Tim's mother used to collect all kind of trinkets and things. Hold up, Tim. Let everybody see it. See this little doll right here? This is like 1800
This
little
is going
baby
to have
doll.
a good 80, 90 years of age.
Yes, 80 or 90 years of age. And this is a collector's item. This is something that you talk about 19, early 1900s. That's a very, very cool little doll.
Yeah,
so Tim
handmade.
gave it to me. Tim gave this to me. I'm going to put this in a glass case.
So it doesn't attack you at
Yeah,
night.
so I got a little nervous, because you see The Conjuring, America, y'all seen The Conjuring. My biggest fear is that this thing comes to life at night, and I hear it walking, coming up the stairs. I'm like, hey, I'm the only one. Me and Don's the only one there.
Be on Don's neck.
And then all of a sudden, the little doll's on Don's neck, choking her.
Stacy's mine.
He's all mine. The boy's mine. Oh, but this is a cute little doll. This is what Tim's got. His mother collected these little trinkets here, so I really appreciate that, Tim. You don't give me a lot of things.
Well, that's history there for sure.
Yeah,
It's
he doesn't
it's
give me
pretty
a lot
wild.
of things, Mark.
Yeah.
And notice you didn't get anything. He just gave it to me. That's Tim. That's how Tim is.
I'll find something for you, Mark.
Hey, we know the hot sauce is flying off the shelves. Tell the folks, Tim, how they can get some.
America.
Oh, Stacy will do it.
Oh,
Well, Tim,
please.
you read it. No, you read it. Because wait, I want Tim to read this. Go ahead, Tim.
Wait, I have to change it up a little bit.
Go ahead.
If you like hot sauce and barbecue sauce, and you're listening to the right show, Give Me the Hot Sauce has the best small batch organic sauces. Spice up your kitchen. Chicago red style red sauce with a garlic twist. Same fats, verde, green sauce. Wait, I hear something.
I'm
Oh,
sleep.
God.
I'm sleep, man. You
Avocado
put me
and
to sleep. Give me
cilantro.
some energy, man.
And our new hottest Atlanta asphalt, Chicago Fire 1871.
Yeah.
Which will burn your eyebrows off, America.
Yeah.
Or our King's Q that's hot and spicy and bold, just like Mr. King sitting here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So use code HOTSAUCE21 to get 21% off.
Oh, we get another code.
That's right. But this is Hot Sauce 21.
Hot Sauce 21.
That's Hot Sauce 21. That's GIMME. TheHotSauce.com.
Oh, you see, he didn't spell out the rest of it. Yeah, he was one of those guys in the spelling bee that would be out early in the first round.
I just say it real fast. I don't know what I said, so they just passed me. We have T-shirts, mugs, and other swag, too. And just remember,
And she'll like it, too.
there we go.
I think we've done enough damage for one episode. We want to thank our special guest, Patrick Williams. It was great catching up with the Paw, working out with DeMar out in L.A., getting ready for a big third season in the NBA. And we want to remind you one more time, next Thursday, June 23rd, is the NBA Draft. We got a special show coming up for all our Twitch followers, so get on board. Go to twitch.tv. Gimme the Hot Sauce Podcast. You'll find us there. We're going to talk you through the first round, all the picks, look ahead to what the Bulls are going to do at 18, and more than likely, AK is going to do something that night that's going to have everybody going, man, I didn't see that coming. So we're looking forward to that.
And it's going to be, as Mark said, it's going to be live interaction. So we want to encourage everybody to get on, ask questions. We'll be talking. We're going to have some giveaways for our hot sauce that night. So it'll be a lot of fun. If you haven't got our hot sauce because you haven't gone to GIMME, the hot sauce, as Tim said, the winners of the contest, we'll have it for you. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be our first draft, the first Give Me the Hot Sauce draft show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so make sure you make your plans to join us. It's going to be an exciting night of basketball and speculation about the future of the NBA. So, again, thanks to everybody for watching on Twitch. We are coming at you with a live show next Thursday. So until then, Stacey.
Drive home safely, Chicago.
That was the voodoo doll talking. That was creepy, baby. Oh, Lord, help me. I've been shot. See you next week, Bulls Nation. Drive home safely.